In this video we will present a brief story of Lucifer, from glory to curse. The Latin root of Lucifer means the one who brings light, while the Hebrew translation is morning star. Lucifer was portrayed as a radiant, shining, and majestic being. In any language, he was a high-ranking angel, one of God's principal angels alongside Michael and Gabriel in the celestial hosts of God. However, at some point, Lucifer made a grave mistake by defying God, as described in Luke chapter 10, verse 18. Jesus told his disciples, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." Here, Jesus describes a scene he witnessed in heaven before his incarnation as the Son of Mary. He warned his disciples about the dangers of allowing pride to control them. This scene described God's judgment on a created angel named Lucifer, who held a unique position of honor in heaven, as mentioned in Ezekiel chapter 28, verses 12-15. Lucifer is described as the anointed cherub who covers, and cherubim extend their wings over the mercy seat, covering it with their wings and looking toward the mercy seat. Lucifer was exemplary in beauty, but pride led him to defy God and seek equality with him. Apparently, Lucifer had authority over a group of angels and had managed to alienate some of them from their loyalty to God, leading them to join him in rebellion. In response, God cast Lucifer and his rebel partners away from his presence. To describe Lucifer's activity in influencing some angels to turn against God through his persistent scheming, the book of Ezekiel chapter 28 verses 16-19 in the Amplified Bible states, "By the abundance of your commerce you were filled with violence and you sinned. Therefore I have cast you out as profane from the mountain of God." For Lucifer, the term commerce is seen as spreading gossip or slander. In other words, he can be described as one who traffics both in goods and rumors. In various other books of the Bible, such as Leviticus, Proverbs, and Jeremiah, this term is translated as a gossip or slanderer. For example, in Proverbs chapter 20, verse 19, we are warned against both types of people. He who goes about as a slanderer reveals secrets, therefore do not associate with a gossip. This illustrates exactly what Lucifer did, approaching the created angelic beings and promoting an organized rebellion against God. He offered them positions of greater responsibility in the administration of the universe. Satan never needed to change his tactics, neither in heaven nor on earth, because they still work. All of this did not happen suddenly or in a few days. We cannot measure the time it took for Lucifer to promote his rebellion, but it was enough time for him to organize a carefully planned revolt against God and convince about 1/3 of the angels to join him. This estimate is based on a statement about Satan in the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 4, "And his tail swept across the sky and dragged away 1/3 of the stars of heaven and flung them to the earth." This passage interprets the phrase stars of heaven as referring to the entire group of angels. Satan's relentless efforts continued even after his expulsion from heaven. He established his own kingdom in opposition to God's kingdom. The original sin, pride, occurred in heaven, not on earth. It was not intoxication, adultery, or even a matter of pride. It was still the most lethal sin of all, pride. Many churchgoers would never dream of committing adultery or getting drunk, but are easily seduced by pride without recognizing how harmful it is. Lucifer was so beautiful that he became proud. His pride finalized the transformation of Lucifer into Satan. It is vital for all of us to realize that the first sin in the universe was not murder or adultery, but pride. In Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12-15, the prophet analyzes the motive behind Lucifer's rebellion, the ambition to be equal to God. Lucifer made 5 consecutive "I will" statements, declaring his intention to ascend to heaven, exalt his throne, sit on the Mount of Assembly, rise above the heights of the clouds, and be like the Most High. The ambition for high promotion was the cause of Lucifer's fall. Scriptures confront us with a deliberate contrast between Lucifer and Jesus. While Lucifer sought equality with God, Jesus, who was divine by nature, enjoyed equality with God. Therefore God exalted him to the highest position, giving him a name above every name. God greatly exalted Jesus, giving him a name above every name. Every knee, both in heaven and on earth, will bow before Jesus, acknowledging him as Lord. This means that ultimately every creature on earth will submit to the authority of Christ. In Philippians, we see the wonderful truth that God exalted Jesus to the highest position. The way up is down, the great secret. Humility is the only way to promotion. Proverbs chapter 18 verse 12 declares, "Before destruction a man's heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor." In the story of Lucifer's fall, or Satan's rebellion, it began from within, a result of pride. After exalting himself due to his wisdom and beauty, and planning his treacherous rebellion against God, he was cast down from God's presence, and his treacherous angels were thrown down with him. We should consider this in our own lives. God created Adam uniquely, different from any other creature. There was something special in Adam's creation designed by the Creator to combat pride. Adam came from a different source, the lowest and humblest, yet God made him capable of rising to the highest. Satan, the fallen angel, had particular enmity against humanity for two reasons. First, he could attack the image of God in man. As man visibly represented God to the rest of creation, Satan's joy was to defile that image, destroy it, and he worked tirelessly towards that end. When someone stops worshiping and starts seeking, heaven is too small for two objects of worship. It is written in Jude, verse 1, that the angels who did not keep their proper domain were cast down. The lesson from Lucifer's fall is clear. When you refuse to worship, you degrade yourself. You fall. Satan, the fallen angel, the ultimate adversary of God and man, was once the bright morning star, a charming angelic being who fell from heaven, rebelling against God to become Satan. What you don't turn into praise becomes pride, and we were never created to rise higher. The more blessed by God we are, the more we should give him glory and honor. You should not become more arrogant, thinking, "Look at me, I don't need to worship like those lonely people." You were nothing in that moment, but God lifted you and blessed you. According to the Bible, everything that breathes should praise the Lord. In Genesis, God breathed life into humanity. If you have God's life in you, then praise the Lord. That's the scriptural order: justified to glorify, liberated to love him, redeemed to rejoice. Praise is a serious matter in the Bible. However, there are those who disdain and mock it, even in the church. The only thing that can keep you in a spiritual environment is praising and worshiping God. On the day you decide not to worship God, you will step out of his presence. A fish cannot survive without water, the human body cannot survive without oxygen, and a Christian cannot survive without worshiping God. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.